Hello, friends. We've got some different technical things going on right now, so I need to make sure that everybody can hear me. So, hi, Samantha. How are you doing? David says hi, hon. Can everybody hear me? Let me know. Hi, Karen. Welcome in. Can everybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Yes. Okay. Thanks, Karen. I appreciate that. Okay, guys. So let's get things started tonight. We are going to talk about doing an ostrich quilt. And before we get started on what I've been doing, I'm going to take a minute just to explain what an ostrich quilt is. Now, here's a fourth of the one that I'm doing, but that's kind of irrelevant right now. It's a type of quilting challenge where quilters start with an orphan block or a block that they've created specifically for the project. And then over several rounds, they add borders or embellishments based on specific prompts or guidelines or clues or what have you. And it's often a mystery, so you never really know what the next round's going to be. So you can't exactly plan it. You got to just have faith and take each one as it comes. And the participants, the quilters, they get to be as creative as they like. And they get to interpret each round and execute it as their creativity and their imagination and their skills allow. And the term ostrich comes from two different ideas. First, unlike a round robin, this quilt does not take flight, meaning you're the one doing all of the rounds on your own quilt. And secondly, burying your head in the sand, which simply means skipping around, only one round, if you so choose. Now, if you feel perfectly confident in each of the rounds, then, you can do them all. That's totally up to the individual. Well, hi, let me get this, see if I can get this right. Is it Surish? Did I pronounce it right? Anyway, welcome in, even if I didn't pronounce it correctly. So I am just so grateful to have everybody here tonight. Okay. Now, I want to know if anybody has an orphan block that they could use to make an ostrich quilt. And while you guys are thinking about it and answering that in the chat, I'm going to bring up our guest today. And it is Seraphim Sanctuary Gentry.
Hi.
I'm so glad he's here. So, if you don't know, Gentry's my son, and today he's going to help me with the concept of ostrich quilt by looking at blocks from my mom that could be used in an ostrich challenge. And there's one in particular that she said, okay, this needs to get finished up and we need to do something with it. So I'm going to rely on all of you to help me think out of the box and kind of come up with just the right ideas for her. And Gentry's going to take notes. And that's what we're going to do. And of course, I'm going to work on mine, but mine's going to be a lot of chain piecing, and mine's not going to be very exciting right now. And I'm not even going to tell you what round I'm working on. I don't want to influence anybody if they decide to jump on board. I do want to warn you that for whatever reason, one of our puppies is extremely whiny tonight. And the other one is extremely barky. So we're gonna hopefully pray that they decide to take naps and gonna be hush hush. But if they get loud, I'm apologizing in advance. So just keep that in mind. Now I've got pieces here ready to sew. I've got my leaders and enders ready to go. So let's talk about round one. Now, first I'm going to show you what my initial quilt block was. Here it is. It's a Mariner's Compass. Now, you can see that it's on point, but that's only because I wanted the main. Oh, there is an echo now with Gentry on there. I'm sorry. Is it really bad? Because we've got all of the cameras in, so you're going to have to let me know how bad it is. Is it acceptable, or do we need to like totally mute somebody? Because we could probably mute Gentry, and he could still be heard on my end.
We could try that.
Yeah, let's try that.
Can you mute from yours?
Mute you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can. Okay. I muted him, so let me know if there's an echo. Now, we'll see what we're going to do from there. Okay. So as I was saying, that initial block, it was Mariner's Compass. Now, it was not an orphan block. It was not some block that I just randomly did and just happened to have in a stack of whatever. I didn't have an orphan block at the time, so I wanted to make, oh, she said it's good now. Okay, so having you muted is good.
Okay.
Okay. And I think you could just probably talk a little louder and they'll be able to hear pretty well.
How about now?
Can we hear him from the background? Say your ABCs.
Anywho.
Anyway, thanks, Karen. Okay, so this particular block was something that I had really been wanting to try. And David says that he can hear him. Well, duh, you are right next to him in the room.
That's why I put the smiley face on.
That's why you put the smiley face. Got it. You need to be comforting a puppy, David. She's getting fussy.
Love bug. Hey, sweet baby. Come here.
Okay. I'm never going to get this out. Mariner's Compass. It seemed very complicated to me, and I wanted to test myself to see if I could do it. And because an ostrich is just for yourself, I felt comfortable in giving it a try. It wasn't something I was doing for someone else. And Karen says that she can hear you. Okay. It wasn't something I was doing for someone else. It was something I was just doing for me. And it wasn't something I was doing for the guild, you know? So if it wasn't perfect, it was okay. The other challenge that I made for myself, now this was just a personal preference here, was that I wanted the entire quilt made from stuff in my stash. I wasn't allowed to buy any fabric whatsoever. And so far, I've been able to do just that. But as each round gets bigger, that might become a little bit more difficult. We'll see. Okay, so anyway, that was my initial block. That was my block for the main part. Now, I would like to explain about round one. Here we go. Round one is called Less is More. And so you need to find the fabric or color that is used the least amount of in the original block and use it the most in that first round. And it has to be simple because less is more, but you still have to find a way to challenge yourself. So what I did, and I'm going to bring up that screenshot now. And the great thing is everybody, when they do their stuff, it's amazing because they find these great ways to do something so completely different than everybody else. Okay, there we go. So the simple part was I just used that tan floral fabric that I had as one of my two smaller colors. And a little caveat is that you get to put a very thin border between each round, between the block and the first round, between the first and the second, yada yada. But I made it complicated and challenging by turning it into an octagon. So it was simple and challenging, and it was less is more. So I would love to see what you guys could come up with. But right now, we are going to try to help, while I'm sewing, we're going to try to help my mom via Gentry with hers. So Gentry, can you go ahead and put on the
Mariner's compass.
Yeah, my mom also had a mariner's compass. Now hers was kind of an orphan, and I'm going to make him bigger so that we can see it better, because what I'm doing is not very exciting. Isn't that beautiful, guys? And I know that my mom's watching, so you got to tell her it's pretty. Now, Gentry, what do you think is the least amount of color used in that?
I think it's the blue, because the red, the center is significantly bigger because the blue doesn't show that side, while the tan shows up in the white.
I thoroughly agree. Karen says it's pretty. Yeah, I think she did a great job. Okay, so we would have to use that navy. Now, if she doesn't have any more of that exact fabric, she could just use another navy blueprint. So, okay, guys, how could we add that blueprint in a simple way, but challenging? I mean, my first thought is to just take a square of the navy blue. And you ready to take notes, hon?
Yeah.
Okay, he's ready to take notes. My first thought is to simply just take a square of the navy blue and applique it on. It's very simple. I'm not sure how challenging it would be, though. So you guys are going to have to give us some ideas. And obviously, she's not going to want to have an octagon like mine. She's going to want to make it, you know, something different, something her own. What do you think, Gentry?
I think that's a good idea.
Just the square with the applique?
Yeah.
Or, okay, this would be more challenging. If she cut the fabric on the bias, which is at an angle, what if she made a big, relatively wide border around it? Just pieced a border. Oh, but wait. What color do you think she should use in between?
Between the tan and the blue.
Yeah. As a like a little mini border.
We could go with the red and bring it all together. Because the red's
Or maybe the background, so that it floats a little bit more, so she's not going to be so worried about chopping off the points.
Yeah, I like that idea.
and then maybe a circular border around the edges. That's a possibility. Let's set that one in the upper right hand corner. Will actually be the upper left hand corner for me.
Okay.
And let's pull out another one. And then if anybody comes up with an idea later, they can add it.
Okay. Here's the next one.
Okay. That's cute. What do you think is the okay, that one's a little bit more difficult to see what the least, well, okay, the least fabrics would be one of those two peaches.
Well, this flower right here
Mm-hmm.
is actually right here.
Yeah.
So based off of how these are already in here, I'd go with this one.
Could you guys hear what he was saying? If we went with the fabrics, I totally agree with you. However, I'm thinking about green.
So you're going based off the color.
I'm thinking about, yeah. Because I think green is kind of the least amount that's showing up, but it is in most of the blocks. Okay, guys, should we go with the gingham or the green? And if so, what should the little strip to separate them be? And just so you know, all I'm doing right here is, I'm not going to make myself bigger. I've got these pieces right here, and I'm adding these triangles on either end. And I have to do like 44 of them. So this is going to take a little bit of time. And I don't know why I came up with such a challenging design. I mean, I know I'm supposed to challenge myself, but you know, we do stupid things sometimes. Gentry, what do you think would be good for the, if we did the one color, well, or that one fabric? I don't think that she has the fabrics of any of these things though.
Okay.
So if we did that, would you go with like the off-white or would you go with the peach? Is that off-white or is it white?
It's white.
Okay. So would you go with the white or would you go with the peach colored?
There's already a lot of peach.
Yeah. So maybe the green?
So I would go with green. Do we not want to go with the blue?
Ooh, I don't know. Hi, Miss Angel. Welcome in. We are trying to figure out.
I don't know how well you can see the blue there.
Is the background blue?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the background was white.
No, it's blue.
Oh, okay. Okay, so do we want the strip to be blue or the strip to be green and then the round to be blue or the round to be green? That's an interesting thought. Miss Angel, we are talking about ostrich quilts and about utilizing an orphanage, an orphan block, or using just a block that you make to challenge yourself, which is any level of challenge. It just has to challenge you. And then how to go about doing the first round. And we have some blocks of my mom's. Well, Gentry does. He has blocks of my mom's, and we're talking about ideas of what she could do to each of the blocks to make an ostrich challenge quilt. Now, we did her Mariner's Compass one first. And do you want me to go over what an ostrich quilt was again? Or do you remember? You let me know, Angel. And I'm just piecing on mine, because I'm clearly further ahead than that. But I thought, you know what? Give everybody a chance to join in. Oh, and that reminds me, guys, I wanted to tell you about the very first ostrich quilt that I ever did.
Angel said yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. I will happily go over that again. It is a quilt that you make to challenge yourself. And again, you start with an orphan block or a block that you make. And then somebody gives you the rounds, and it's usually kind of a mystery of what the rounds are going to be. And you just interpret it the way that you want to, which I can show you how I did a previous one if you want to see. And while I'm finding those pictures, which I actually showed them to a couple of friends recently, so I'll go look on theirs. But what I was going to say is that when I did it, it was one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever had in quilting. It elevated the way that my mind worked, and also the way that I thought about things. It gave me more confidence. It was by far probably the best thing that I could have ever done as a quilter. And I know that that sounds really hyped up, but it is. It gave me an opportunity that I may not have given myself to think outside the box. And because it was just for me, if it didn't work out, if it didn't look good, it didn't really matter, because it wasn't for anybody else. Nobody else was going to care. So the very first one I did, I had an orphan block from my mom. And I will go ahead and show that picture to everybody. And it was just it was a block that she sent with a book and stuff, just to kind of show me how to do it. And she doesn't even remember making the block, to be perfectly honest. It was just one of the many things that she did. Okay. There is the initial block. And it had this butterfly inside and this beautiful purple fabric, and it was great. And I said, okay, well, there's my orphan block. It was the only orphan block I had at the moment. So I said, okay, I'll do that. Well, that actually changed, hold on, to that. And it's quite a change, as you can see. And I used tiny borders between each one. Well, not always. Some of them I did, some of them I didn't, if I needed be. But the very first part of the challenge, after the block, the initial center block, was called boxed in. And I took that to a very literal box shape. It was the same box that both my mom and I used to doodle, where you'd make the square and another square, and then you just connect them with lines. That was it. That was my thought. Not necessarily very creative, but it worked for me at the time, so that's what I did. The next one was called binary. And again, each of these things, it is just your own interpretation of them. So for that, I was supposed to use 2 fabrics, and I used a light and a dark, and you can't see it very well in the picture, and I don't think I can make the picture any bigger. Let me see if I can. Oh, I can make it a tad bit bigger. Okay. So you can kind of see that it's a squiggly line. Well, if you know anything at all about me, I just like to have everything just so. I get a little OCD about stuff. So the main challenge in this was for it to not be symmetrical. And I made a piece of fabric that was both yellow and green, and I put it on there all, squiggly, and the yellow fabric is on top of the green border, and the green fabric is on top of the yellow border. And so and the techniques weren't very difficult for me, but the randomness of it, that was something. That was a lot for me. Now, the next one was called yin and yang. So what I did there was I took, hi Nancy, I'm so glad that you're home and that you had fun shopping. I took dark green fabric and light purple fabric. And then you can see like these, it looks like little stripes, but what actually it is, they're ribbons with tiny little knots in the center. And so I used a light green ribbon with a dark green square and a dark purple ribbon with a light purple square, and I had them going opposite directions. So that was kind of my interpretation of yin and yang. And the next one was called Paradise. And guys, that was so hard for me to figure out, because the main thing that I kept thinking about when I was trying to think about when I thought of paradise was by the dashboard lights. And if you know, you know that song, Meatloaf song from a long time ago. And clearly I was not going, hi Lisa, thanks for lurking and coming by. I was not going to put dashboard lights on my quilt. That was just not going to be something I was going to do. And so I kept thinking and thinking, okay, what does paradise mean to me? And when I really stopped and thought about it, it was about my relationship with God and how my cup overfloweth. And so you can't see very well, but in each corner there's a little gold chalice. And out of the chalice comes this beautiful purple wine. And it was interesting to design it, but it was also interesting to get it to be where it forms a circle. The main part of it forms a circle in the quilt. So that was kind of fun. And then the last one that I did was called Plain Jane. And for some reason, when I thought about Plain Jane, I thought about hardwood floors. And then that led to that design of the beautiful borders of hardwood floors in the old houses. And there was one more round. But when I looked at the quilt, to be honest, it just looked finished to me. I couldn't imagine adding anything else to it. The wood floor part just seemed to give a perfect border to it, and I felt like it was done. So for the last one, I stuck my head in the sand. So that was my first one, and I learned a lot of techniques, and I challenged myself, and that is why I'm kind of passionate about ostrich quilts. Now this one has been in the works for a long time because life got in the way. There was a divorce, and there was a wedding, and there was, dealing with kid stuff and moving, and you know how life gets. And so this just kind of kept getting pushed to the side. And so I really wanted to bring it back to the forefront, finish it, but also introduce everybody else to the process and to this particular challenge so that they can learn and stretch and build up confidence and experience all the great things that I got to experience. So if you're thinking about doing it, give it a lot of thought, because nobody has to see it but you. But if you do work on it and it's okay, share it with me so I can share it with everybody else so that we can just see how amazingly creative and how different we are in the way that we think about things. Now, Miss Lisa said that she was lurking. So I want to take a moment to thank all of my lurkers. Thanks, lurkers. Oh, Angel wants to know if Gentry is quilting too. No, he's not. Those are blocks that my mom has that we are using to brainstorm on her behalf and to kind of get our own brains working as well. So, Gentry, do you want to put the first one back and we can catch Angel and Lisa and Nancy up on what we had thought?
Yes.
You can see that on the banner on the screen it says that round 1 is called Less is More. And so you need to find the fabric or color that was used the least amount in the original block and use it the most in the first round in a simple but challenging way. And I went over what I did on mine, and I don't know that we need, well, I guess we could show that again too. We'll just keep showing stuff. It's fine. Oh, we don't need to show that. Okay. Stop screen. Present. I really need Pam here. She's really good. And Nancy. They're both so good at doing this. Okay. This is my original block. It was a Mariner's Compass. And the fabric that I used the least was a tan floral. So, and it wasn't an orphan block. That was a block that I did specifically to challenge myself. And then, after I found what I wanted to do, it became that. I turned it into an octagon, which definitely made it challenging. And then I used that one fabric. And you get to put a tiny little border of something else if you need to separate your rounds. And that's exactly what I did. So that was that. So now we're trying to figure out what to do for my mom while I'm chain piecing these. So we figured out that the navy blue, the dark navy blue for that one was the one that needs to be used in the next round. But we haven't fully figured out the best approach for how to do that, to how to use it. So I definitely am open up to suggestions. And now that you guys are here, maybe you can give us some. We did talk about her doing a round border and how that would be interesting. And maybe just using more of the off-white for,
The binding.
well, not the binding, for the little thin border to separate the rounds. So that's kind of what we were thinking. But let me know. And Nancy's looking out for me. She said, don't forget the thumbs up and sharing. And Nancy, if you get all situated tonight and you have a block in mind, you let me know. Okay. I've got to get some sewing done, guys. I'm talking too much. I'll give you all a chance to answer ideas for Mom's blocks. And I'm just making these blocks, and I have 44 of them to make. And each block has, let's see, 4, 8, 12, 13 pieces. They're kind of tiny. Around and pleats. Ooh, that does sound interesting, Angel. And Nancy says she's still not home. Are you watching while you're shopping and driving? Well, obviously she's not driving. We're not promoting that. Her husband Earl would be doing the driving. I do not want to get in trouble for promoting driving while watching YouTube. And while we're also thinking about this stuff, guys, Gentry and I are thinking about starting a channel.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing. Okay, Gentry, come over here so that they can definitely hear you better while we talk about it.
That's interesting.
I know. We've got equipment everywhere here, so he's going to have to go through a little bit of a obstacle course to get over here. But I want you to hear him very well. And you can tell us what you think. And if you would watch it. But don't steal the idea, though. And Nancy says, yes, Earl is driving. And Angel said hi to Earl.
So they can see Charity for a bit. Moved it back, but for a second she was on there.
Okay. All right. So come over here and let's tell them about our thought.
Okay. So, what is it, a podcast?
Well, it would be a podcast, but it would be on YouTube. So, but definitely a podcast.
Would we be showing anything?
Well, I think we would be showing pictures.
Okay. Of
Movies.
Okay.
Movies and thoughts and and hey Jay, waving to the back seat. Angel saying hi to everybody. Nancy's the co-pilot. Hi, sweet Jay. So, in a nutshell, Gentry and I like watching movies together. And there are so many podcasts and stuff about movies. And we were thinking about this as we were watching some of the lists that they have about
the top 10s, top 20s, whatever.
Right. Of pretty much every type of topic you can come up with.
Top 10 haunted house films, top 20 witch-related TV shows. Characters from such and such.
Top such and such houses and films. Top, you could come up with one that's top quilts and films, whatever. Anyhow.
Or top films relating to quilting.
or to a specific actor or actress, or, the lists go on that they have. Well, Angel just said, I was thinking about doing reviews of TV shows. Well, good for you. You should do that. Well, we were thinking about doing it, but we wanted to make it a little different.
Yes.
Just a tad bit different. Gentry and I, we would watch a movie, and then we would each come up with our top 3 favorite things about the movie. Even if it was a movie we didn't like, we would still have to come up with the 3 things that we thought were the best part of the movie. A scene, an actor, it wouldn't matter, just the top 3 things.
But we wouldn't actually say what it is to each other.
Not beforehand, no.
So there's a good chance that all of them will be identical.
It's a possibility. But if we do have identical ones and they're in different orders, we can't say it until we actually get to reveal that particular one, because we would be going our third, our second, our first. So from that perspective, and I don't like it when people say negative things about my work. I really don't. I mean, I write my patterns and that kind of thing, and it makes me really sad when people say negative things. So based on the golden rule, we will not be saying any negative things at all about the movies. Just the 3 things that we like the best. Obviously, if there's a lot of negativity, you'll be able to tell by some of the positive things, like great personality in that one character, or I really liked those pair of socks that he wore in scene 2. Yeah.
I was going to go with earrings.
You're going to go with earrings. I mean, obviously, if we're really having to stretch for something positive to say, I think the audience will be able to gather that it was not our cup of tea. But the thing is, everybody drinks a different kind of tea. It's like a quilt. I can see a quilt and I can think it is stunning. And another person I know will see the same quilt and think it is hideous. And that's just the way that it goes. We all like different things. So sometimes when we come across those lists on, via YouTube or websites or whatever, some of them I will not agree with at all. I'll be thinking, why do you think that that's an okay thing to put on a top list of anything positive ever? Because it's dreadful.
Oh, and on top of that, people they don't do the research on what the film is beforehand.
No, they don't. Oh, and that was the thing. Okay, this one I can actually complain about.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give names, but I can truly complain about this. There was a person on YouTube, and they were doing something about favorite witches on screen. Something to that effect. I don't even remember what it was. And when they came to talk about practical magic, they actually said that movie is their favorite feel-good witch movie ever.
Watch it every year.
Oh, yeah. And then they gave a summary of the movie, and it was nowhere close. I mean, it was there were so many falsehoods in that summary.
Well, you read the book, which is very different from the film.
Well, but it didn't even match the book either. It didn't match the book or the movie. It was just wrong. It was wrong. It wasn't even about opinion. It was, oh my word. It was just wrong. So, I mean, they thought that, any of you who've watched Practical Magic, you'll understand what I'm talking about. They thought that the mom of Sally and Jillian was the one who'd been stranded on the island and created the curse. and or when she died, anyway, it was so wrong. It had the basic premises wrong. So some of the people, I think they just put stuff on there just to put stuff on there, and then you watch it, then you see that it's bunk, and it's too late because you've already watched it. Hopefully nobody will feel that way about it when we do it.
Well, we're going to double check every single thing before we say squat about it.
Yeah, we totally would. And Angel said that Sandra and Nicole did great in that show. Yes, they did. They did so good. So it'll, and sometimes we watch movies that we actually don't agree on, but sometimes we do. And speaking of shows and witchy stuff and feel-good stuff, I feel very, very young. I'm over 50, but this made me feel really young. Raise your hand if you've ever watched The Good Witch.
I'm raising mine.
Gentry's raising his.
My hand's up.
David's hand is up. The Good Witch, Hallmark Channel, also on Netflix. Catherine Bell, is that who it is?
Yes.
Catherine Bell is in it. Okay. Angel's hand is up. Okay. So on The Good Witch, she has a store that's called Bell Book and Candle. I did not know until just a couple of days ago that Bell Book and Candle was actually the name of a movie that had witches. Mind blown.
Right?
I think it was 1957, 57, 58, something like that. Well, wait, you can look it up on here.
Yeah.
Okay. And it starred Jimmy Stewart and Kim Novak. See, Angel knew Kim Novak and who's the other one? Jack Lemmon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea. And I always thought that was such
1958.
And I thought that was such an interesting name for a store, and they never actually explained how she came up with the name for her store. And then I was like, oh, okay, it's an homage to that movie. Didn't know. But then we watched the movie, and we saw some very interesting things in the movie.
You want to explain the name of the film?
Yeah. And the reason that they named the film that, it was from a line that said, ring the bell, close the book, quench the candle. That's the Bell Book and Candle part. Okay. So Angel, you'll definitely catch this reference. The cat in Bell Book and Candle looks just like Kit, the cat, in Charmed, which I thought was really interesting. So I wonder if that was also an homage to the movie. And then Nicky, Jack Lemmon's character, at one point he's going down the street and he is turning out streetlights, which is just like what Dumbledore did in the first scene of the first Harry Potter movie. And I thought, interesting. So, and the name of the character, Kim Novak's character, they called her Gillian, but it's the same spelling as Jillian, which I thought was interesting because of Nicole Kidman's character Jillian in Practical Magic, which may not have been a nod, but the other two or three or whatever. Anyway, I just think that there's a lot of interesting things to that. So, but I had never heard of that movie before. So now I'm all excited. And that's kind of what got us into thinking about talking about stuff and sharing things like that.
I thought it was before that.
No, well, I talked to you about it, I think, after that, but that was what got me thinking about it initially. So, what do you guys think? Should Gentry and I do that? And Angel's going, right. I know, it was very interesting. I can't help but wonder if that movie alone really set the stage for a lot of other stuff.
Well, we know Phoebe started everything.
Yeah, she definitely started the flying witch thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the pointy hat.
And the pointy hat thing. Yeah, I like how they did that in Charmed. That was fun. So I just found that whole thing just completely amazing. And guys, I have 3 questions. So I'm going to go ahead and post one. All right. Here is the first one of the Tribond questions. Yards, mystery, and borders. Yards, mystery, and borders. So if you're not thinking about doing an ostrich quilt tonight, tell me what you are up to. I'd like to know. David said quilt. I like that answer.
Yards of fabric.
Yards of fabric.
You're currently wrapping up your mystery quilt.
I am currently wrapping up my mystery quilt.
One of the last parts of a quilt that you do to put the thing together is its borders.
Is the borders. You're right, honey. That's not necessarily the right answer. It might be, but you're right.
For the record, for everybody, she has not shared with me any of this, which is why I'm sharing my answers, because I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. And I'm not going to tell him if he's right or not. Angel said things that surround you. Oh, I like that one, Angel.
I do like that answer. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Possibility that Angel might be getting herself another angel.
Well, we're actually not giving away anything tonight.
Oh, okay.
So
just for bragging rights. Okay.
It's just for bragging. It's just to get your minds going. And I do like that this particular one of the reasons we're not giving anything away is because this particular one could have many answers. There is one specifically that goes with it, but absolutely. Okay, guys, my mom still needs help thinking out of what to do with that quilt. I think we've only got like maybe 2 suggestions. I think David needs to come up with a suggestion. Who agrees that David needs to come up with a suggestion?
Yes.
All right, what are we trying to figure out?
Were you not paying attention?
I barely remember my own name most days. Come on.
Okay. Did you pay attention to what? Why am I even asking him this, guys? Seriously. Did you pay attention to exactly what round 1 is all about?
Round 1 is what? The accenting the least color?
We'll go with that. That's not exactly it, but we'll go with that one. Yeah, sure. But how? It needs to be done in a simple and yet challenging way.
I don't know.
Gentry's writing down suggestions so that Mom has an opportunity to think on things.
Think.
Well, I mean, are you actually looking at, are you online? Are you watching me?
I'm watching.
Okay. Well, for starters,
I'm going back and forth between stuff. So.
Well, what color do you think it should be?
Well, I agree with Gentry's suggestion about the, is that blue?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful navy blue.
Yeah. That's definitely what the least is, that blue.
Yeah. Okay. And so should she have a thin border around it, or in use? I shouldn't say around. In use. Well, yeah, it still would be around, even if it was like circular or square or whatever. And if so, what should that color be?
What, they can't be the navy blue, the thin border? And then,
well, the navy blue is supposed to be the next round, and it helps to put a thin border in between each round to separate them. She doesn't have to do it, but
I think the thin border could be the burgundy that's over top of the blue.
And then how should she do the blue? Because you know that I turned mine into a hexagon. And that was the challenging part for me. But then I just had the main color on there. So how should she do it? Because she needs to be something different. What should it be? Do my nails still look witchy, guys? I did them purpley.
Well, I think it's such a nice blue. Why not just go ahead and pull it out to be a square?
What do you mean pull what out?
As everybody can see my hands, as I'm gesturing.
he's doing this.
He's wanting it to actually come out and make a square surrounding it.
Yeah.
So maybe just appliquing the circle, Mariner's compass, onto a square of the navy is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's such a pretty blue, and that way you can have that nice field.
Yes. Karen says need a color to pop. Now, Karen, is that for the little thin thing in between? And if so, what color should that be? Thank you, Angel. I like witchy nails. I do have some witchy-er colors with some oranges and stuff, but they're in storage. That's become one of my #1 phrases lately. But it's in storage. We're going to get settled soon. We just have to find the right place. Okay. So we've got a few ideas. We've got the applique, we've got creating a round border, and we have,
the time is 8 p.m.
And Angel said to do pleats, which it would be interesting if the pleats ended up being a 3-dimensional piece, kind of like, I cannot think of the word that I want to use. Some people do it when they have a binding, that little bit that like sticks up. What is that called? Guys, somebody's going to have to help me because now I can't think of it.
Is it like ruffling kind of thing?
It's not a ruffle. It's not a pleat. Flange. That's what it is. They do like a little flange border. So if the piece in and of itself that was pleated was actually fully complete, double-sided, and it was a flange border, and then she could actually attach that onto something else next time around. Hi, Darcia. Thanks for stopping by. It's okay if you're late. She said she's still adulting, but she took a timeout. Good for you. We all need a timeout from adulting now and again. Oh, Lisa, I'm so sorry, sweetie. You rest that head of yours, and hopefully it feels better soon. Darcia, we are talking movies and connections and podcasts and ostrich quilts.
One of those is not like the other.
Yes, one of those is not like the other. But they're all very creative. Very creative indeed. And I truly cannot wait to see what somebody else is going to make for their ostrich. And I will be super proud of anybody who's willing to attempt it. And there are only 5 rounds, so that's not much. I think there are only 5 rounds. There may be 6, but I'm thinking that there's only 5. It's been a while. I would need to go back and check to be sure. Okay, guys, I just added 10 pieces. Thank you so much for helping me with that. I've had the dropsies today. I don't want to hold my breath, but I think that all the puppies may be taking a nap. Yay!
We were giving Lovey such grief, and all she was really trying to do was tell us that she wanted some water.
Aww. Poor thing. Huh, what?
What happened?
I don't know.
Echo's back.
Yes, it is. I don't know what you did, Gentry.
That was my fault.
All right, guys. Technical issues. Oh, and there we go. Except we still have an echo. And now he's gone.
Don't overheating. I've got the heat, the heat symbol on my phone.
Oh my goodness. It's freezing in this room. How could it be overheating?
The live streaming.
Interesting. Have you guys ever had a phone overheat from live streaming? That's interesting. Okay. I need to iron these.
What do I do?
But I'm right here. I guess if you want, you can bring one of the other blocks and just plop it down here.
Okay.
And talk from right there. And it might be easier for them to see on the other ones. I'm still here, guys. I'm just going to iron these real quick. Oh no, this iron spits. It's mean.
It's feisty.
It's feisty. Okay, go ahead and put that down. Oh, move it more that way. Okay, everybody can see it now. I like that block. I like the colors that are in it. Okay, so why don't you look at it and tell me what you think is used the least, both the fabric and the color.
The fabric that's used the least is the actual yellow. The yellow diamond in the middle.
Okay.
That's used the least.
It is used the least. And do you think that would be a good color for the next thing? And if so, what would be a good little mini border? And if you guys disagree, let him know.
I have no clue.
There's some really dark colors on the bits of the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
That might be something to help break stuff up.
That dark purple?
Yeah. Or is it, what other color is there? And hold up the dark ones for the camera, if you can.
You're talking about these?
Yeah, in there. Closer. Whoa. Okay.
No, I can't see.
You know what, though? They're not really that much darker than the actual fabric. Of course, now they look blue instead of purple. But he's coming around so he can see better.
Oh, it's foggy.
It got blurry. Come on, play nice.
There we go.
Does anybody have any thoughts?
Not relating to the thing.
Okay, well, share all the thoughts.
Okay. Angel's puppies are napping. They've been roughhousing with each other today,
Aww,
saying it's so cute.
that is so cute.
Angel responded saying, yes, that's what happens when she uses StreamYard on her phone.
Ah. That's interesting to know.
Right now, her puppies are teething, so she needs to get them something.
Oh my goodness. They are growing so fast. And how's Mama Puppy doing? Pebbles. I want one of those puppies.
Which one would you want?
Yes.
All three.
All three.
Why choose?
Why choose? Well, what one would you want?
The runt.
Angel, which one is the runt?
Ooh, I'd want the one that's ornery.
Would you really?
Probably.
That might be the same one.
Pebbles is doing good. She has patience with them.
Aww, that's so sweet.
I think it's that one.
What, when the runt?
I think that's the runt, right?
I don't know. Let's see. Angel, is this one the runt? Gentry's trying to look at the size, and so he's hoping that it's that one. or thinking that it's that one.
Thinking.
Now, there are 2 girls and a boy. Would you want a girl or a boy? Bianca is what she is, the feisty. Okay, so she's
perfect.
She's feisty and she's the runt and it's a girl. That would be perfect for you, Gentry.
Oh yeah, she got along great with Charity.
Now, you did not have to name her Bianca. It was just a thought.
Oh, Bianca's the white one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Bianca means white.
Okay. What was the film? It was Bell Book and Candle that pronounced it weirdly.
Yes. Yes. They pronounced it Bianca.
Yeah.
Which was weird. Because I never heard it pronounced that way before. Bianca. Have you?
No.
So we've been kind of worried about puppies barking here where we're staying because we don't want to upset anybody. I'm going to need that. And we actually found out that we talked to the manager and just to check, and we said, you know, has anybody at all complained about the dogs? You know, because we don't want to upset anybody. And they were like, no. And you know, we said, well, they have barked. And he said, well, that's what dogs do. And he said, and just so you know, people bark louder. So that was really sweet. That made us feel better. I mean, we still don't want to disturb anybody, but even still, that was nice to know that it hasn't been an issue. Because I want everybody to have a good stay. Oh, and the other night, I think there was polka music coming from the other side of the wall.
Yes.
I can't guarantee that it was polka, but that's what it sounded like.
It was last night too when you were sleeping.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rocky, Charlotte, and Bianca are the names. Holstein just doesn't roll off my tongue easily. I like all of those names. So is Rocky also feisty? And how did you come up with Charlotte?
Holstein like the cow?
Yeah. Because they do look a little like cows.
Mm-hmm. But not Highland ones.
No, not Highland ones. I want a Highland cow.
No, he's so laid back.
Aw. I think I would want the laid back puppy.
So you'd be saying Adrian Buck is yawning.
Maybe. I wonder why he's so laid back. I wonder if he's just tired from his sisters. Oh, she looks like your Charlie. Okay. Well, that makes perfect sense then. Absolutely. I want chocolate, guys. I'm hungry. I had a craving last night. Clearly a hormonal craving, because it's not a normal one. I wanted chocolate chip cookies, the soft kind, the ones that aren't like necessarily completely cooked. And I also wanted cheese balls. You know, like Cheetos cheese balls. And I wanted to eat them back and forth. Cheese ball, bite a cookie. Cheese ball, bite a cookie. I had my heart set on it. I mean, clearly we didn't go to the store and get anything, but let me tell you.
Bite a cookie. That sounds like something you could buy somewhere.
Sorry about the noise, guys.
You were saying?
I don't know. I was talking about
Bite a cookie.
bite a cookie, cheese balls. Bite a cookie, cheese balls.
Bite a cookie. Is that a car?
Bite a cookie? Why would that be a
I
car?
don't
Or
know, but it
medication.
sounds like something you can buy somewhere.
Or a medication? I don't think so. But I know I'm not the only one in the world that has those savory, sweet cravings that go back and forth. Gentry even found a Milk and Mocha cartoon about it.
Mm-mm. Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. Did you just say like I was making it up?
No, I thought I showed you one that was a comic strip, not Milk and Mocha.
Ah. It's a thing. It's a real thing. Guys, I do not want to do 50 million of these blocks. What was I thinking?
Stick with 25 million then.
They're not fun. I think I was excited about them when I first designed them. But there's a trick to them, you see. They're not just the design that's in the block in and of themselves. When you put them together, they create a secondary design. And that was kind of the purpose of them. But now I'm bored and I don't want to do it. I just want to have it done. Maybe I can find somebody who wants to do it for me. Gentry!
Yeah.
Do you want to do the blocks for me?
What blocks?
These blocks.
What about those blocks?
Do you want to do them for me?
Do what?
What are you? Vinnie Barbarino or something? Or was it? Yeah. Vinnie Barbarino. Who? What? Angel says she does it all the time with salty and sweet snacks.
It's a thing.
It is a thing. It's a yummy, good, amazing thing. Absolutely. Okay, we've had 2 people guess the tri-bond. Gentry can't guess because he knows the answers.
Yeah, it's magic.
It's magic?
Mm-hmm.
That's the answer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to show the answer. Yards, mystery, and borders. I need a drum roll. I don't think that was it. It was something. You want to try, Gentry?
Nope. Can't top that.
They're all elements of an ostrich challenge quilt. So David kind of had it right with quilts.
Mm-hmm.
Yards of fabric, the mystery of what each round is going to be, and the borders. That was some drum roll. I need a minute to recover from that before I give the next tri-bond question out there. Thanks for the laugh, honey. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh, you're so sweet to do that.
I am to please.
You ams to please?
I am to please.
Oh my word. I need to send you back to school.
Oh, yeah, that was something else from that movie.
What?
You were surprised of a comment because of how old it is, there was a comic she made.
Yes. Okay. Okay, guys. Tell me what you think here. I mean, it's an older movie. So, I mean, I know that there are some things in older movies and all that sort of stuff. But, I mean, today, people just say anything and everything. You know, so I kind of expect to be the older movies to be a little bit more wholesome or something. Well, one character was telling another character that a woman was a witch, and she said he never was very good at spelling. Ah! She implied the B word.
No, she said that you need to learn how to spell.
No, she said you were never very good at spelling. Maybe she said either way.
Yeah, either way.
Regardless of what she said, what she meant the B word, guys. Angel's laughing at us. I know. It was unexpected. I was a little shocked. The funny thing is the one that said it was the biggest B word of them all. Yeah, I said it. I meant it. She really was.
She needs a costume.
She was awful. Okay. Let's move on to the next Tribond question. Ostrich, tortoise, and snail. All right. Who's got a guess for that one?
He said something.
They all hide. They're all really slow. We've got 2 guesses. And I agree with both of them. Of course, I didn't think that an ostrich was really slow.
It's described as the fastest land fowl.
Which isn't very slow.
Can't even fly.
Well, no, it can't fly, but...
It's 30 to 45 miles per hour. But the 40 to 45 is just in spurts. There's wasted brain cells.
If I can get... Oh, I wanted to show you guys stuff. And I didn't. Judge, can you hand that to me?
Yep.
I just kicked your chair.
You did just kick my chair. It's okay. Guys, look. Look what's done. Ta-da! The camel mat.
Yay! Whoop whoop.
Angel said they lay eggs. I don't know. Do they?
How do snails reproduce?
I don't know. I don't know anything about snails.
They're all cute.
No, she said that's cute.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I don't know. Gentry, look up how snails. Okay. I want to know.
Do you know?
No.
What I was going to say, though, is if I can get this one side completed and sewn on to my ostrich, I will be sure to share that. Not the whole border, just the one side, because I'm just doing one side at a time. Nancy said that she loves the colors of my candle mat. Thank you. I can't wait to see what you do. Oh, did you find anything specifically for your candle mat when you were shopping? Huh, what?
Majority of snails are hermaphrodites.
Interesting.
By the way, how much of this am I certain words am I allowed to say on your live?
I don't know. I think we're gonna leave it as snails do their own thing. How's that sound? Does that work, Gentry?
Sure.
Snails do their own thing. We're gonna go with that.
They do lay eggs.
They do?
Yeah. They lay eggs.
Angel, they do lay eggs. Huh. Nancy says that she's debating getting a heat press again. She wants to make t-shirts, but will she make enough to justify getting one? That's a good question. That's kind of always my question about a big purchase. And usually the answer to my question is always no. I got too many things that I'm doing. But that is not to discourage you from getting one. Interesting. Snails lay eggs. Are the eggs coming directly from them without a partner?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
It depends on the certain species, but the majority of them don't require another mate.
Okay. So snails really can just do their own thing.
Yep.
Got it. Kind of lonely, but okay. Very interesting. Nancy said when she worked at school, the teachers were always buying custom shirts, but not sure if her audience would order enough. And Angel says everyone loves your t-shirts when you wear them, so you can create your own.
Now we just need to have the shooting star that says the more you know.
Well, Nancy, I would suggest you maybe taking orders ahead of time. And if you got enough orders, paid orders, then that would tell you whether or not to do it. If you had enough pre-orders. Because I agree with Angel, everyone does love your shirts, but loving something and buying it, I don't know. I love a ton of stuff that I never buy. What I like to do is I like to go into a store online, fill up my cart with everything I like, and then I just leave. I just close out of it. Karen said that she was making a salad. What was the answer to the last one?
They are all elements of an ostrich quilt.
Yes, all elements of an ostrich quilt. And a salad sounds really yummy. And Nancy says she wouldn't want people to wait. Well, that's fair. You could at least still take a tally, though. of people that would be interested in what designs. And Nancy said, yeah, she likes window shopping online. Yeah. I think I do the most window shopping at Temu. I'm bad about that one. I just put everything in my cart and I just leave. And then by the time I come back, all those things are sold out. They're gone. I don't remember what they were in the first place. It all works out very nicely.
Yeah, I do the same on Steam.
Do you with the games?
Mm-hmm. Go in there, add to the wish list, keep going.
And people do that with my patterns too. I will have, dozens of people that have my patterns in their carts that are probably never going to come back. And that's okay. I get it. I don't feel bad about it. Not a bit. So if Gentry and I were to start our movie talk podcast soon, does anybody have any requests about what movies that they would like to hear us talk about? I can't guarantee it'll be the first one.
What will the first one be?
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to put all of the ideas into a hat and just, I'm not in a hat. We could do the twirly wheelie thingy.
Yeah.
The spinny wheelie. That's what Pam calls it. The spinny wheelie. We could put it in that. And then at the end of a podcast, we could do the spinny wheelie and see what the next one's going to be. And just leave it up to that. I know one movie that I would like to do, but I'm not going to say what it is.
Oh, we're not saying what we want to do?
No. Well, I kind of don't want to say anything because you haven't seen it, and I would hate for something to get out and you to accidentally know something about something.
Okay, how about we mention ones that we've both seen?
Well, once we've seen it, we can definitely list it.
Okay.
Are you talking about that movie with that guy that does that thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
That has, what's her name?
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she was great in the, whatchamacallit.
Oh, believe me, that ending though. Wow.
I didn't think it was that good. It was meh.
Oh my word, you two are out of control.
That's the name of the film, Out of Control. Thank you.
Yes, we will be doing it on a new channel. And we think we have the name worked out, but we haven't checked to make sure that it's not already taken. So, until we know for sure. But as soon as we know, I will definitely let everybody know all about it.
Go ahead and tell me what the name is so that I can reserve it, and that way you'll have to pay me in order to have it.
Yeah, that's so not happening.
Thank you for asking.
David, what movie do you think you would like us to watch and talk about?
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors.
I haven't seen it.
Now, it doesn't have to be like a Halloween-y type movie,
We gotta do Dumpling.
Okay, here's the thing, though. If we do Dumpling, are we watching it again before we actually do it?
If we do, it'd be like the 27th, 28th at least for me. So, I mean... Probably not.
Well, but wouldn't you want to? Well, you have to like narrow stuff down to your top 3. So you have to take notes and then choose, pick and choose. Karen was asking Nancy if she did her pumpkin over from last Sunday, and Angel was explaining that Nancy's been away for the past week because of the hurricane. So Nancy hasn't really had much crafting time whatsoever.
So, Little Shop of Horrors and Dumplings. So, what do you choose?
It's a secret.
Not familiar with that movie. Who's in it?
I was in the process of saying that.
That person
From
who did that thing with that guy.
That started what's her name? And whatchamacallit.
Exactly.
That's not the name.
I would like it if we had 10 movies to go in the Spinny Willy.
Is there an H in that second word?
Yes. It's not a willy, it's a wheelie.
Yeah, I was saying that.
Well, that's because I'm Southern. That's why. But we want movies from different decades and different genres and all the things. I mean, we might have to watch stuff that, but I would ask that if you pick something, keep some of the inappropriateness to a minimum, because,
So not the one with the 3 books that you read that were so awful.
Oh, heavens no. Nothing like that. Because, I mean, the boy's going to be watching it too. So don't give any. He's talking about like 50 Shades of Grey. Don't.
I'm surprised you actually said the name.
Well, yeah, I did. I will say this, because we said that we weren't going to say negative things. All I'm going to say is give me Mr. Darcy any day. Not that other person. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, I've got to iron again. Why don't you pull another one of Mom's blocks? And I hope the iron doesn't spit at me again. That's not nice. All right.
Okay, you can't really see it because there's another square.
Well, you can kind of prop it up on the Halloween thing.
You can see everything now.
Okay. So what do we think is the least?
Least would be the 4-patch in the corner.
Those fabrics?
Yes.
Okay. And of those, what is the least?
I would go with the bottom tan. The bottom right tan. It's not the brown, it's not the orange one, it's not the white/off-white, so it'd be that one.
Okay. So something of that color. Now, what would be a challenge?
Coming up with something for the challenge.
I don't think that counts. I don't think that counts. Let's see. Well, okay. This block is very straight.
Okay.
We've got the rectangles and the squares. So I think something with curves
Okay.
would be a good thing. So maybe like an applique scallop type situation on it.
I can see that. What would the other color be?
Well, what is the other color that might be the least?
It would be the orange, the top right.
Okay, show it. Point to it.
This one would be the least because there's significantly more brown.
Okay.
For that one.
Or whatever other color was used could technically sort of be the separation between round 1 and round 2.
Okay.
You mean the border one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that might be kind of interesting. So maybe a scallop. Maybe mostly that color, that tan color.
Okay.
But with something simple applique on it, like a vine.
That would go kind of well with the vines that are already on the fabric.
Yeah. Do you guys have any thoughts?
How about one where it goes back and forth between like half circles, like the whole.
Oh, like a clamshell kind of thing?
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be interesting. Definitely a challenge. Okay. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, guys, I've got my pieces. Now I need to trim them up. How boring is that?
So
I think I'm getting ready to give the answer to the next one. Okay. We had, let's see, what were the answers that we had?
eggs,
slow,
and
hiding. Okay. Animals known for hiding their heads specifically.
Okay.
So Nancy was super duper close, but for the most part, I think all 3 of you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's what I love about some of this stuff. Now I just have to find the right size ruler. Gentry, do you know where the small one is?
Yes.
Where? Oh, thank you. If it were a snake, it could have bit me.
Shoulda or woulda?
Shoulda. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. All right. Now the final one for tonight. Here we go. minimalism, simplicity, subtlety. Oh, and Miss Pam's here. She says she's been there listening, so howdy do. And she mentioned that she is not a fan of amigurumi. Not today? Well, I'm not. He's cute, but sewing all of those spikes was a pain in the hiney. But Dan, the dino is done. Awesome. I can't wait to see him. And actually, send me a picture on Messenger.
Dave said all the things he's not.
Yeah, that could work. You're not a minimalist. You're not simple, and you're not subtle. Absolutely. Nancy said she missed the last answer. Nancy, you were the one that got most of it right. It was animals known for hiding their heads. Pam also said, it's me. I'm the answer. Oh my goodness, you two. Okay. So we'll see if Pam sends me a picture of the dino. And I have to make sure I don't trim these the wrong size.
What does Pam think about our podcast idea?
That's right, Pam. What do you think about the podcast idea?
That was fast.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't about the podcast. Oh, Pam, he is precious. Okay, I hope you guys can see it because you know I've got the ring light. Isn't he adorable? Oh, he is so cute. I love him. Yes, I do. Good job. And I'm guessing you're never, ever, ever going to do another one again. Is that what we're saying?
Been there, done that.
Ring the bell, close the book. Quench the candle.
Stab the spikes.
And Nancy said that Pam got all 6 spikes on. She was only able to add 5. I've got so many dog ears here. Of course, I think I got to call them something else because the thought of cutting off a bunch of dog ears now just sounds really dreadful.
I wouldn't even feel comfortable saying that sentence.
No? Can't imagine why. I'm not worried about trimming them like properly up right now. I just want to get the dog ears off so I can kind of get an idea of how the block's turning out. Okay. What do we think, guys? I know that you have no idea what it has to do with, what it's all about, but you will once they all get together and we get to round 4.
That was cute.
And Pam said that she squeezed in all the spikes, and she said 5 is plenty, and that the podcast sounds fun. And Nancy said, Pam, have you used that type of yarn for Amis? And Pam says, and can she have a fraction of Christian Gray's moolah? Yeah, you can have his money, but just stay away from him. And I'm sorry, the man is the epitome of an abusive, controlling dude. Stay away.
Don't hold back.
I know. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I just couldn't. It was just doing me in. And all these women just crazy over this character who is really, in fact, a bad guy. And I don't care that he's broken. We're all broken. Doesn't give us the right to be. All right, I gotta change topics. I'm getting worked up. Okay.
So movies.
Yeah. And Pam says that she hasn't used that yarn before. And Darcia is saying hi to everybody. I'm gonna trim 2 of these and I'm gonna sew them together. I'm nervous. Hope it goes well. If not, I might cry. That could happen.
I'm gonna pass the baton.
All right. Gentry is saying adios, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Here's the baton.
Can't believe you're giving Daddy the baton. He gets to help figure out what to do with Mammal's blocks now?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a scary thought.
All right. Wonder what Mammal's going to think about that. All right, hon.
Show them what you got.
Come on. All right. Grab a block that we haven't already used and come over here and let's discuss it.
Grab a block. Okay.
And we will see what happens.
Okay.
Is anybody else nervous? Because I'm nervous. Let's see how living with a quilter for the last 14 years has affected him.
Yeah.
All right.
Ow. Okay. I can't remember if the blues are supposed together or the whites are supposed to go together. Guys, I don't know what I've done. Okay. Anyway, you got to put it over here for them to see. All right. Here's David's audition, guys. Put it right a little bit higher.
The audacity of my audition.
Okay. Straighten it out a little bit, please. Okay. Here's a block. Now, what color would you say is used the least, or fabric?
For me, I would go with the burgundy.
Think the burgundy is the least?
At least it appears to be. I mean, it's a toss-up between the burgundy and the green.
Yeah, it is a little hard to. Well, okay. Let's think about it here. Let's do some math. Let's compare the burgundy to the off-white.
Math than math.
Well, let's compare the burgundy to the off-white. They both have the same amount there, right? And they both have the same amount there. But the white is more because of that part.
Right.
So definitely the burgundy is less on that. Now, there are 4 blocks with the burgundy and 4 blocks with the teal. The teal comprises 2/3, whereas these comprise only half.
So it's not an optical delusion that I was falling for. The burgundy actually is less.
Perhaps, except for here, the burgundy
is a 4-to-1 ratio.
Is 4/9 versus 1/9. So do we have any math whizzes here? I do think that I would say the burgundy. Overall, just because if we were looking at this, clearly it would be the teal. But I think that when you're looking at the outer parts of it, the teal seems to be more prevalent. So if they were to put teal right here, if Mom were to put teal right here, I think it would be overwhelming with the teal.
The burgundy would also be easier to keep separated color from color.
Okay.
Because the teal goes right up to the edge.
Yes. Well, but again, we can have a tiny little border here separated. But there is, oh, thank you, Darcia. She says that she loves the pumpkin. There is one more tiny thought process. Okay. Let's see how well this shows up on the camera. Okay, well, you can kind of see right there. Do you see these little bits of white color on this off-white fabric? So, in theory, she could go with a white because it's very minimal. So, what do you think she should do? If it were you, what would you do?
I would go with the burgundy.
You would go with the burgundy.
I think I'd go with the burgundy.
Okay, and would you have something separated? And if so, what?
I don't know. I think the nice thing about the burgundy is, like I said, the fact that it doesn't go to the edge like the teal does.
It will, though, right there. It would touch right there if she didn't have a tiny border.
Only the tiniest little skosh.
A skosh. Guys, don't you love the words David's coming up with for this? It's a skosh. I like that. Okay, so we would need something simple but challenging for that next piece. And what could that be?
Hey.
Pam just answered the thing. Minimalism, simplicity, and subtlety. Answer, the lifestyle of Carolyn Ingalls. That is my favorite answer all night long.
I think that she just won. Whether it was the correct answer or not, she just won.
Oh, Pam, that cracked me up.
I shouldn't say the correct answer. The answer that we were originally looking for. It's possible the correct answer may have just changed.
Oh, my goodness, that is too funny. Okay, so what? Again, I think that we might want to do something with some curves on this because there's just so much angular stuff here. Or something that had angles for the middle and straight lines for the edges to kind of be opposite of what they've got going on already.
You're suggesting maybe angles like, say, Carolyn Angles and her simplistic minimalist life?
No, I don't think so. Ah. And Angel said modesty. Ooh, I like that one too. Fun. Okay. So who thinks that they have a full understanding of what an ostrich is and how to go about round one? Whether or not you're actually going to do it. Who thinks that they fully grasp the concept?
So what is that move called?
David's tripping over stuff, guys, and dancing.
Just washed my feet. Now I can't do a thing with them.
Well, guys, I was going to sew two of these together, but I honestly can't remember if I had originally wanted to put, and I've lost one. Where did it go? Did it come off with that block?
Let me look.
It might have. Guys, I'm missing my block.
I'm sorry to report it is not over here.
Oh, no, it's underneath the stack this time. So I can't remember if I had the blues touching or the off-whites touching or a blue and an off-white. I don't remember, guys. I'm going to have to go back and look at my sketches and see exactly how I was interpreting everything to come up with the design, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's go ahead and give the answer for this one, because the answers that we've already gotten were absolutely awesome. And the answer is concepts where less is more. And who remembers that that is the title of round 1 for this ostrich quilt? It is less is more.
Kind of like that that grave marker at the Haunted Mansion in Disney World. Here lies Lester Moore. 6 shots from a 44.
Okay. Let's
no less, no more.
Yeah, I don't think this has anything to do with that, but that's a fun thought. All right, guys. I think we're going to call it quits for tonight. I need to do some more trimming. I need to go back and look at my design so that I have something to actually show everybody next time around. Now, but before we go though, I do want to ask if next Sunday, do you want to see me work on a charity quilt? Do you want to see me continue to work on this round? Do you want to see me do a little tiny homage to Dame Maggie by working on blocks with her in mind for my timeless quilt? And there is still, I do still have to finish the wagon wheel for the Underground Railroad. And we also have the hexies. So let me know what you would like to see me work on, and we can go from there. And I do believe that Miss Nancy is going to be back at her lives some point this week. And I do think that Pam is going to be live on Thursday. And I'm not really sure. Do you see the bug bite? I know. My mind's going from one thing to the other. And I'm not really sure about the other lives this week. So feel free to share and let everybody know. I'm not going to do a read over tonight because I'm tired. But, oh, and after the live, if you have any thoughts at all, oh yeah, that's right. Nancy's 4th year anniversary is going to be on Wednesday, so we can't miss out on that. Darcia said, I want to know how the one you're working on came out. Okay. Well, we can definitely go back to that for sure. And after the live, go back to the comments and let me know what movies you would like Gentry and I to put into the spinny wheelie. See, I said it right then, Gentry. The spinny wheelie. And so that we can start working on our movie podcast, our movie talk podcast.
Willie just called. He's so happy to know you're not going to spin him.
All right. And Pam said, yes, unless the plans change, but as of now, that's the schedule. Okay. Well, that sounds great. And Darcia said that she's talking about this one. Yes, absolutely. And Nancy said Tiny Tuesday at 8, doing the Fairy House. And, oh, no, and the Fairy House project is Friday at 8. Okay, so Tiny Tuesday at 8, her celebration on Wednesday, and her Fairy House project on Friday. And then Pam on Thursday. So we've got a lot going on this week, guys. Maybe I should be doing stuff on Mondays. That's a thought. Let me know. I'll have to think about that. You guys let me know. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight then. And any thoughts or ideas, you just let me know in the comments, and I will read them, and I will get back with you, and we'll see what happens. And in the meantime, I want you guys to have a really great week, and definitely a great Monday, because Mondays can be really tough. And I will talk to you all later. Good night.